Hi, everyone. We've heard a lot about the different parts of the current and future creation ecosystem today. So, right now, I'd like to welcome back a few of the panelists for a few questions. For today's Q&A panel, we have Nidhi Gupta, who is an engineering director at Meta, supporting the creator empowerment team. Deepak Dutta, who is the product manager of the Meta video APIs. And Bryan Martin, a digital content creator, also known as Sea Lion Bryan. Thanks for joining, Nidhi, Deepak, and Bryan. I have some questions on the top of my mind, and also we'll be taking some questions that have come in from the conference live discussion chat. So let's start with maybe some of the challenges to working at scale. Nidhi, what do you think are the most important problems to solve for creators based on how you've heard or feel?
Yeah, definitely. I think the core job for us is that we are able to connect creators with the audiences that would be interested in their content. But I would say the most important problem right now is having the set of tools and guidance for creators that can empower them truly. Our creators, I consider, are artists, they are producers of very niche content, but right now they have to be that, plus really experts on social media and how to gain their audiences. And we want to bridge that gap, since we want to provide them the tool, the guidance that would help them to gain that audience, to reach people in a natural way, and keep their focus on producing good content. At scale, this is quite difficult because these creators are of varied types. They are in different stages of their journey. Bryan here has 1 million followers. We have others who have just started and have like 1,000 followers and are trying to be a creator. They are working through issues, even issues as small as like lighting on their phone is not set correctly, so their videos are not getting views. And we want to bridge those gaps, give that like guidance and tools to them. I actually would love to hear the opinion from Bryan. What do you feel like is the most important thing as you became from like a person who was doing this as a hobby and to like earning income through it? And what were the challenges you faced? What do you want us to do more for you?
This is a great question, and it's amazing to be involved with all of this and have create a voice for creators. I think really finding a groove and understanding how the tools work, understanding really the lay of the land and making it easy for people to get going. There's a lot of trial and error for me when I started, and I've become savvy, but there are so many creators out there that may not have the time. So making those tools really, really simple, making it easier for them, especially an older audience who may not be as tech savvy, those things I think are really, really helpful. But the rules, I think having the rules and the guidelines that people follow, because most of us want to create a safe space for people where they can come and they can watch content. For me, I create content for anybody of any age, and I'm very, very careful with that. And just making sure that it's easy to know the guidelines, because there are lots of things coming out, the opportunity for monetization and putting your stuff out there and all the effort that you put out there. And then if maybe you misstep and use the wrong word or hashtag, and then does the system itself create a block where maybe there's something that pops up and you're unable to learn from maybe a mistake you didn't realize, and you post something with a hashtag and that hashtag triggers the system. I don't know the inner workings of how that goes, but triggers, whatever is searching through posts. And then mark something as maybe breaking the rules when you really didn't intend it, or you can't go through the documents of all the rules that are there. I think having that, like a stage where people can learn their mistakes, and that it's okay to learn, and they either pull something off and they're still in good standing, or just kind of know as the ecosystem changes and you guys have to create new rules to make sure it's safe for people, that there's an easy way to understand. I think that would be a huge help.
So Bryan, before I get to my next question, I really want to know, what's the most unexpected thing that's happened to you from becoming a creator?
The most unexpected thing is that so many people enjoy me dancing around my kitchen with a cup of coffee. um, I think the most amazing thing, and there's lots of things I talked about in my talk earlier. I think the most amazing thing that I didn't realize is how easy it is to impact a lot of lives just by simply putting out simple, pure joy. And I may make fun of myself, and I'm dancing in my kitchen with a cup of coffee, but at 1.1 million followers, never did I ever dream that would happen. But the messages that I get from people telling me that they go to my page when they're having a really rough day to help them just kind of shake that I think is the most amazing thing I never, ever thought would happen. I mean, I started my journey in grief and did it for myself, but stepping out as somebody who could show that you can move forward and being, I don't know, like a little bit of a guiding light for other people to pull them out of that darkness. I never knew that I would be where I am right now. And it's a pure gift to know that I'm helping people. And that's the biggest surprise from all this.
Awesome. Okay. Now my real question. So for established social media platforms and the tech creators, what is it that can be done to strengthen the loyalty and investment between like the viewers and the creators? So what do you think that can actually scale that and improve the loyalty between the viewers and the creators?
I think, again, making it easy to make content and having stuff be shared. We don't know the magic behind the algorithm. There's always the algorithm and what is it doing? And if our stuff isn't getting out there, is it because of something that we've done? Is it just the wrong time of day? I know the analytics definitely help. I've looked at a lot of that stuff. But I think there's times when people have messaged me and they've said, I haven't seen your videos in months. And I'm like, I'm here every day. So I think that can put us in a weird spot where some of our followers think we're not creating content anymore. But we are, and we're not sure where that disconnect is. We're not sure why they're not seeing our stuff. And so that I end up making posts telling people to go look at my posts so that it tells the social media site to maybe show them more. So I think however those inner workings go, it brings up questions that we don't have the answers to as creators. We're not sure how to make that jump. And that's why this kind of a conversation is great. I think that really the loyalty there, sometimes people think you're not there anymore. When you really are, and how do us as creators, how do we bridge what's happening there when we can't control that side of things?
Okay, thank you. So now I want to switch gears and kind of look at the opportunities that are coming with generative AI or AI in general. So Deepak, what are some of the early use cases that you're excited about, and what do you think the bottlenecks or blocks to unleashing that full potential of generative AI?
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. This is an exciting place to be and talking about generative AI. I know it is exciting for everybody. A lot is being said about text-based impact and use cases, the impact that it could have on coding or computer programming. Then there are lots of verticals which are sounding pretty promising, right? So what impact it could have on education, healthcare, so on and so forth. But since we're talking about creators here, and personally, my domain right now is on the video and audio sides and API. I think on the creation side also, it's just super exciting. Recently, we started to look into audio, for example. We know that a lot of our partners that use our APIs, they want to know about which audios they could add in short form of videos like Reels to make them hot or sort of leading sort of videos. So just to create or have an ability to be able to create unique audios is phenomenal. Also video, where a lot more needs to happen around technology, but the processing existing videos out there, understanding what the creators want, and then helping them generate some unique content is just super interesting. I remember in my old days when we used to start creating any decks, presentations, and starting from the bullet points, things have changed. We had templates, but now imagining that somebody could speak and the computer could help them create, some content which is more like live is just phenomenal. So I think that's very exciting area, especially on the creation side. What Meta and the whole ecosystem will be able to do, super exciting. Now, on the second part of your point, Joseph, of course, I think there are regulations, there are copyright. After all of these models process data. The processing of the data has its own limitation, but what it creates, there are lots of rules that needs to be defined around it. So I think we're in early stages, very exciting time, but there is a lot of things that needs to be ironed out.
Nidhi, what do you think are the important opportunities from your perspective that are coming up with generative AI?
Yeah, for the creator side, there is a lot on creation, as Deepak mentioned, but for the creator itself, there are multiple things we are brainstorming right now. One of those is that we could help creators connect better with their fans. They get a lot of comments, and connecting with, learning about their personality, how they would reply to the comments, helping them assess so that they can reach more of their followers is one of those things we are looking at. The other one that I'm personally excited about is helping troubleshoot when creators hit an issue, like the one Bryan is talking about. If your content is not reaching followers, understanding why that piece of content would not reach followers, what's difference compared to the other content, compared to the content that other creators are posting, and like learning those kind of things, learning the personality of creator is a very exciting opportunity with Gen AI that we could unlock.
Okay, thanks. So at this point, I want to check the live chat to see if there have been any questions that have come through. So let me just take a quick look. I think we do have a comment, and I think this one's really directed towards you, Bryan. So from Holly, she reports that she sees a lot of people that are either trying to clone your page or have been approached to claim to be your social media manager. She feels bad for this, and she wants to know what can be done about this.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful question. I think we're seeing it more and more on our side. I have a lot of friends that have had imposter accounts or people stealing your photos. I mean, they show up on dating sites and all sorts. It's a very unique situation that we're in. And I think the biggest thing for me and creators is we want to make sure our followers are safe, because a lot of people really do want to connect with us. So, I mean, I can comment, and if I comment to one or two people, I try my best. Like Nidhi said, there's lots of comments. People, they just get so excited, and it just makes their day. And so when someone takes an image and creates a fake account, people are not necessarily combing through. The general population isn't combing through to validate that. So I think having, like, I love that people can get verified now if they choose to, because I think that's one definite thing. But there isn't, that doesn't always necessarily keep people safe. Now, just recently, what Holly was talking about, there have been people now that pop up and they don't use my photos, but they state that they represent me. And I don't have any social media representation. I run that whole thing myself because I want to be true to my followers. It's me answering questions. It's me jumping into comments. So that's yet another avenue where these scammers are actually getting more and more creative with what they're doing. So we try to make sure that we let our audiences know. I've made posts. We just have to be careful because some of those terms, scams and some of that can actually get flagged. So we have to be really cautious about how we're going about it. I constantly mention stuff on lives, but there's just no way to reach everybody. And then unfortunately, people do get fooled and do get tricked and think they've had long conversations with me. And so I'm constantly just reminding people. So it's a good point that Holly is bringing up. And I also think that in general, the audience and a lot of creators understand that it is such a huge feat for a social media platform to have to figure out how to also manage that. So I think as they're changing how they're trying to trick people, we're trying to keep playing catch up. And how do we get ahead of that? So on my end, I'm trying to do my best, as I learn more and more about what the social media platforms are coming out with and try to use that to my advantage to help protect my followers. Nidhi, I don't know if there's anything from your end that you want to do.
Definitely, a lot of work is going on our end, as you mentioned, we do continue to catch up, but there is a lot that we already catch. Beyond that, your followers can help us in reporting people when they see such accounts. And then, Bryan, there is moderation assist that you could use to if you find particular patterns that are relevant to your content that people use, you can block those patterns through moderation assist.
It's great. I started to use that. It's really helpful. It really is, especially with comments, because they tend to state their comment in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it gets, so that has helped me. That has helped me a lot.
Okay, so let's go a bit deeper into scaling the product. So Deepak, it looks like unlike Instagram, Facebook is building product-specific endpoints like one for Reels. What is the future of Facebook video publishing APIs?
Yeah, there was pros and cons. We, on both Instagram side and the Facebook side, we had this legacy set of APIs, which was an umbrella API for videos. It started off with posts and videos, but then different formats of videos came along, like short form of video, live, and others. Now backward compatibility, I know, is very important for our partners. So on the Instagram side, what the team decided is to stick with those APIs and add product-specific features like Reels and Stories that they have launched recently into the existing API itself. On the Facebook side, however, we chose slightly different path because we wanted to make sure that some of the new innovations like resumable upload and few other technologies, that we can extend those benefits to our creators. And so we chose to have newer endpoints for Reels, and we're going to have something new for Stories as well. Now, what I would say is that those legacy APIs would continue to be there. We're going to continue to talk to the community and see how they are feeling. We certainly want to improve upon that, but any changes we make or any new formats that we bring about, we will not make any of those changes without reaching out to the community. But we are looking into making those changes in some of those APIs also, because we are getting a lot of feedback and we want to make sure some of the innovation is infused in some of those legacy APIs as well.
So following on that, so I know that Instagram team has launched Stories API. Does the Facebook team plan to launch Stories API like Instagram?
Yeah, that is right. So we, and end of this half, we're going to come up with some of the announcement. We've started to look into it. We're working very closely with the Instagram team, our sister team, to make sure that we drive consistency between those two APIs portfolios. Because I know that a lot of our partner platforms are common. They use Instagram, they use Facebook as well. A lot of creators like Bryan use some of those platforms when they, post things in different social media platforms, including Meta's platform. So we are working on Stories APIs. We got that feedback as well. Instagram teams were slightly ahead of us, and they have released it out. And we are going to have some announcement around it soon, hopefully later this half.
That's great to hear. So I want to continue the discussion around the Facebook and Instagram. So Nidhi, for perspective, can you help us explain what is the difference between professional mode and the creator experience on Instagram?
Yeah, so the creator experience on Instagram is powered through something called as a professional account on Instagram. The business experience is also powered through a professional account on Instagram. On Facebook, what we are visualizing is that professional mode is designed specifically keeping creators in mind. And we have the pages experience, which is designed for both, was designed for businesses and then updated for creators. So there is this most substantial difference there is that professional mode is more designed for creators in mind. Other than that, there are a lot of synergies. We saw that creators were doing quite well on Instagram, so we were looking at how to adopt that more on Facebook, and that's how professional mode was born. Then I'm curious, do you have an Instagram account? Do you have comparison points between both?
I do have an Instagram, yeah. And it's a lot of times I just share. I do most of my stuff on Facebook. That's my that's my home base, and where I grew the fastest. But it's just very easy to take what I do on Facebook and go over and create the same. I just take the same thing because the audience is very different. Sometimes I have people follow me place to place, but yeah. And then switching over when professional mode came out on Facebook was just such a game changer. And it was amazing to be part of all of that when that started. So it's very exciting. It's very fun to listen to you guys.
So Deepak, I know there's a new trending audio tag that was released very recently. Can you give us some insights on the new creation features that you're planning to release in the future?
Yeah, so on our 1P tools and our apps, obviously we want creators like Bryan to take advantage of all the capabilities that we have on our tools and platforms and applications. But we are also very aware that there are lots of creators that use our partner ecosystem for various reasons. In some cases, it is just about using one platform that can easily help them publish across the different social media networks. So through these APIs, we enable those third-party platforms to integrate into our platform. However, sometimes there are some limitations. Audio is one of those examples because the copyright license audios that we have on our platform that creators can take advantage of, and we have statistics around it, and creators can very easily merge it in their creative reels content, for example. When it comes to third-party platform, because of some of the licenses and copyright issues, we cannot expose those files out to those platforms easily. We are working around some of those hurdles, and the first step that we took is at least we are now going to inform the third-party partners what are those audio tags at least that are trending, so that these partners through their platforms can extend that capability and inform their creators who are using their platforms that which top 10 songs, which top 10 sound bites are doing well in a short form of video. And then those platforms usually, especially the large ones, have their own formats of those audio. And then the creators could, pick and choose and then try to create content which could be trending. So we are starting off of that, but we will continue to add more capabilities around audios, which we got a lot of feedback from our partners that that's a very important thing. However, besides audio, we are very excited about adding sort of new creation features going forward. I talked about one, in the Gen AI question. So I think we are looking at some generative audio capability. Sure, we're going to experiment with it. We're going to see how well it works out. As I said, there are going to be some copyright issues around it, but I think it's pretty exciting to create something very unique very quickly, then allow creators to look into it and see how they feel about it. We are also going to create some sort of a clipping and trimming capabilities. So let's say creators have created a video, maybe a long form of video, and we, through our algorithms, which have worked really well, we can extend some of that capability to allow the creator to use our APIs. And then we can suggest a short form of 30 seconds or 60-second soundbite that can then be used to promote your live session or your long form of video. So that is another capabilities that we are looking into. So there are a few more exciting things around generative AI and creation features, which we are working on. And we will continue to talk to our partners and the creative community to see how excited they are about it. And then there are some other regulation features and other things that needs to be worked on. But it's an exciting new area that we are super confident about, that a lot of exciting stuff will come out in the near future around it.
Wow. I'm sure that a lot of creators will be excited when these things come out. Nidhi, the professional mode, it bundles settings together. My question is, why do we not give the creators an option to select what features they want individually versus using the bundle?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I would say that as much as possible, we want to make the life for creators simpler. And this is a lot of research went into what features they would want and creating this bundle together. But we also kept in mind while we were working on this that we would make our best effort for it to be non-intrusive in a way that they can select to use it. So professional dashboard is available to creators. It's a choice for them to use it or not. So we are trying our best that it is a non-intrusive experience on top of the experience that they have to connect with their friends, and it blends it really well with the app experience. But giving a choice to them would have been technically difficult because we were porting, as I explained, that we were porting over the features that pages had before that we thought were important for creators to have a public presence. And those features were present for all pages. So we had to individually go and choose and create settings on top of that. But more than the technical difficulties, this was the product vision that we had, that it has to be very simple, one-click thing for creators.
Yeah. Are there any plans to make the professional mode the default experience? And if it's not, are there any capacity scaling implications to do that?
We don't have plans to make it a default experience. We do feel like there is a choice that people should have, whether they want to have a public presence on Facebook or they want to use it for just connecting with their friends and family. And that's an explicit choice people should make. On the capacity side, it was interesting because we did not see as much capacity hit by creating professional mode, because again, as I said, we were building it as non-intrusive to the experience as possible. So if people are using these features more, we get capacity hit, otherwise not. And if they are using these features more, we would like to take that capacity hit.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Bryan, this is really the first time we've had a creator join us at the Product at Scale conference. In the future, what do you hope that a speaker could get from this event or do for the creator community as a whole?
think I've said it before, this is amazing to be here. And I think being able to be a speaker who's on the creator side of things really represent us. It's very easy to not feel like a real person sometimes on social media, especially if you have a lot of followers. They're only seeing bits and pieces of you, and a lot of times just kind of creating a whole magical world that they think you live in. And so being here or having future content creators come in really puts a humanity kind of a feel behind us on the other side. And I think it also helps to kind of pull away the veil or the curtain and some of the mystery, because it is showing that these social media platforms are reaching out and working with creators and do want to have this wonderful symbiotic relationship. We need each other, and so I think it's been absolutely wonderful to be asked to be here and to be a part of this and hear some of these things. And I think future creators, they're also going to have their experiences and their opinions and would be able to really help continue to develop not only for our side of the world, but the tech side of the world, and just really make it an amazing thing together.
All right. Thank you for that really great perspective. This is really good to hear. Let me check the live chat discussion to see if we have any other questions. Yep, we do. We have one from Jayesh. One of Meta's most popular products is WhatsApp. This is the best text-based chat product in the world. However, in the US, it's not much is being added in terms of features or AI. Is there anything in the works here? Deepak, do you have any perspective here?
Yeah, I could take a quick shot at it. So definitely, WhatsApp is one of the areas which is very exciting for us overall. I think the innovation and the investment that we are making in it, it's definitely happening. We don't really have any differences in terms of the features that are released in geographies. However, what I'll say that sometimes when early features are launched, they are sometimes launched in a particular geography just to test it out. And depending on where that dominance area is or what we are trying to test, we could probably test it or try it out first in a one particular geography before rolling it out widely. So that might give an impression, that maybe some other areas are getting those features slowly, but that's certainly not our intention. One of the areas, for example, in WhatsApp and our other messaging platform in general, is the area around business messaging that we are investing a lot, and that is just some of the innovation that is being happening on WhatsApp plus Messenger. So that's another exciting area for us. But no, it's not really the case that we would not launch those features globally. It might just be that they might come in other regions a little bit slower than some other regions that they are first tested in.
Okay, thanks. I think this is all the questions that from the live feed, and we've kind of gone through the questions that I had at the top of my mind. So this has been a really good discussion, and I want to thank our panelists, Nidhi, Deepak, and Bryan, and I want to thank everyone for joining. Thanks.